mentioned, I've been struggling with like creative blocks lately and feeling kind of irritable this week, sensitive this week. And when I really ask myself the question, it's like, what am I so irritated with about myself? And I think it is the fact that I don't want to break a promise to myself. So I promised myself, I'm going to put out a video every single morning for a year. And maybe longer, we'll see. So I become frustrated with myself because I don't want to break that promise, because I know that I've broken promises before, and it starts me down a path of just accepting that that is okay. So it's not so much about making the video, it's more about breaking the promise to myself. How many times in your life have you said, I'm going to do something. I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to change my life. I'm going to drop this habit. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to be more sociable. And it went okay for a month, but then you broke the promise to yourself. Think about how that feels. When you break a promise to yourself, it feels really, really crappy, right? What is the underlying meaning of that? When you break a promise to yourself, it's like you disappointed yourself again. You reconfirmed for yourself that all those other times that you disappointed yourself, you're just repeating the same cycle. You're never going to change. You're never going to change. You create that story in your head, right? You do. This is why we become very frustrated when we don't meet up to our own expectations, when we tell ourselves we're going to do something and then we give up. It's not so much that we gave up, it's more about we are creating that story. We are reconfirming for ourselves, I gave up because I always give up and I'm always going to give up. And that's one of the reasons why we give up. Because we have that story constantly playing in the back of our head. So you have to rewire yourself. You have to change that story first before succeeding. Because if you always have that same story playing in the back of your head, if that is always the true underlying beliefs about yourself, your self-worth, what you think you're capable of, then you're always going to be limited. You're always going to run into that brick wall. If you're on a diet, if you're trying to stick with a plan, or you're trying to finish a book, you're trying to just be a better person. You're trying to work things out in your relationship. You're trying not to be lazy, right? You're putting the focus and the effort in, I'm really going to do this. Okay. Action is needed. You have to take the action to do it, but you also have to deal with the mental aspect, and that is the most difficult often to overcome. And it can be overcome, but it's a matter of making yourself aware. Am I doing things right now? Have I set goals for myself right now because it makes my ego happy, because it makes somebody else happy, because it feels like it's what I should do? Is it really what I believe that I can do, that I will do, that I have done? It's all about perspective. It's all about belief. If you believe in yourself enough, if you trust yourself 100%, then you will succeed. In your head, you will be a success. So, I think that is the big key here, is we don't live up to our own expectations, or we expect too much of ourselves. We don't actually sit down and look at the overall picture about what we actually feel is attainable for ourselves, whether we trust ourselves on it or not, whether we're open to actually changing, because a lot of us don't actually want to change. We don't want the responsibility of changing. It's too much. It feels very overwhelming to us. So sit down with yourself and really go over your life vision, your life goals in all the different categories, not just money, not just status, spiritual, fitness, health, emotional, relationships. Okay, you have different categories of your life, family. And ask yourself or write down what you want in each of these categories, and that will help. So just something to be aware of, and hope you all have a great day. I will see you on tomorrow's video. Peace.